Hey everyone. Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in our video, so settle in. Don't forget to subscribe and share before we begin. Thank you for being here. Today, actor Cenk Torun stepped into the spotlight with a revelation that sent a jolt through the entertainment world. Known for guarding his private life fiercely, Cenk chose this moment to open a door he had kept closed for years. In a steady, quiet voice, he started with the sentence that instantly turned whispers into a roar. Mahaseen Marabet and I got married 5 years ago, but those unfinished words hung in the air and changed the temperature of the room. The mystery that surrounded his past suddenly wasn't a rumor anymore. It was his story, told by him. Cenk went on to share how their relationship evolved and why it wasn't as simple as the public might think. He spoke carefully, almost tenderly, and made a sincere confession that felt like a weight being set down, balancing demanding projects, long shoots in different cities and countries, and the pressure to keep up appearances had made their life together increasingly difficult. We were constantly trying to hold on to our work and protect what was ours, he said, admitting that despite their efforts, reality had pulled at them from every side. Unfortunately, it didn't unfold the way we hoped. Yet he made sure one truth would not be twisted by speculation: that time with Mahaseen was something he would always respect and protect. He emphasized that despite chatter on social media and whispers in the press, their story did not end with drama, but with maturity and care. My feelings for Mahaseen will always be special, Cenk said, and you could sense it wasn't an empty platitude. Everything we lived through is part of us, and I carry it without regret. With those words, his vulnerability showed through the composure he is known for. Almost immediately after his confession, the internet lit up. Fans reacted with a mixture of shock and warmth, and online forums swelled with questions. Why had they separated? What happened during that period that no one saw? While many praised Cenk for his honesty, others wondered what Mahaseen would say. Some simply wrote messages of support, insisting that keeping love private doesn't make it less real. Threads filled with memories of their past appearances, old photos, and sightings that now felt like clues people had missed. Cenk's rare openness didn't just revive memories, it reframed them. For years, he had sidestepped questions, choosing silence over spectacle. But now he broke that silence and shared the part of his life that had been sealed away. He clarified that the emotions were real and that the decision to keep the relationship hidden had not been about shame, but protection. He was at ease with what he had revealed, but there was softness in his eyes when he repeated the line that started it all: "We got married 5 years ago, but," and let the rest unfold with context. He explained that the bond between him and Mahaseen had developed slowly, steadily, away from noise. They had crossed paths through work, and the connection that began as familiarity deepened into something sincere. "We were both navigating intense schedules," he said. "We knew very early how exposure can eat away at something fragile, so we built a quiet world for ourselves." He paused, and his voice lowered. It was simple, peaceful, and very real. Their marriage, he admitted, was brief, not because the affection wasn't strong, but because the life surrounding it was merciless. They found themselves moving from set to set, living out of suitcases, juggling languages and time zones, unable to sync the rhythm of two careers that demanded everything. "We tried," he said. "We tried in every way two people can. But over time, constant travel and fatigue created a gap we didn't intend." Still, he made it clear that there had been no bitterness, no loud farewell. Just two people who chose to protect each other even when parting. As his words spread, the debate grew louder. Some fans wrote, "There were rumors for years, now it finally makes sense," while others seemed stunned that such a major moment had remained invisible. A few said they could never believe they had kept it hidden. And yet, others admired the choice, arguing that not everything needs to be an announcement. Journalists began to speculate about Mahaseen's response, anticipating her voice would soon join the conversation. The intrigue of a hidden union and the tenderness of its end quickly took over trending lists. Cenk's reflections didn't stop at confession, they traveled back to the beginning. He remembered how the friendship with Mahaseen blossomed into love, a change that felt almost inevitable the way he told it. They put effort into keeping it away from flashbulbs and microphones. We felt exposed enough through our work, he said. We didn't want the outside to define our inside. There was a certain calmness in his delivery, the kind that comes from living long with a secret and finally allowing it to breathe. He acknowledged that time had passed and with it the anxiety of keeping everything unsaid. Years have gone by, he explained. It didn't feel right to keep that part of my heart locked away any longer. He clarified that he wasn't trying to stir drama or rewrite history. He wanted to be truthful about his life, to honor the beautiful moments without inviting cruelty. Above all, he wanted the story to be told with care, not rumor. He revisited the core of the message once more, circling back with the same phrase that had become the headline. We tied the knot 5 years ago, but, this time, he completed the thought not with regret, but with acceptance. We were both at the height of what we were building, he said. And that dream made keeping our love quiet the safest choice. Their haven didn't include red carpets. It was coffee at sunrise before a flight, handwritten notes slipped between pages of a book, missed calls returned at midnight just to say, I'm here. He admitted their marriage didn't last long, but insisted that love doesn't evaporate just because the structure around it changes. Mahasine still holds a place in my life, he said. I wish her the best, always. And I know she wishes the same for me. It wasn't a performance, it was something gentler. He described how the two of them chose kindness at the end, how they walked away without breaking the very thing that had made them brave enough to try in the first place. The murmurs had existed for years. People speculated about private moments they never could confirm. Cenk's words did more than confirm, they gave context. He explained that the silence had been intentional. We didn't owe anyone an explanation, he said. It was ours. But after all this time, I can tell the truth without fear it will be misunderstood. In that admission was a subtle relief, the kind you hear when someone finally sets down a story they've been carrying too long. Social media pivoted from shock to empathy as many users sent supportive messages, applauding the maturity of both. You can feel he still respects her, one comment read. Another said, some loves are bigger than the status they're given. That's okay. Meanwhile, the press turned toward Mahasine, wondering if she would echo the same grace. Insiders speculated she wouldn't remain silent, that she would choose her moment and speak with the clarity she's known for. But for now, her quiet added a different kind of punctuation to his revelation. Cenk also touched on why he was sharing the truth at this particular time. The years had settled the emotions, and he felt that speaking now wouldn't reopen wounds. Instead, it would honor their past without exposing either of them to a storm. He insisted nothing about their story was designed for attention, and he was careful with every word. I don't want anyone to read this as a plea for sympathy, he said. It's simply the truth. He looked back at their earliest days, recalling how everything had felt new, how they learned each other's rhythms in hotel lobbies and rehearsal rooms. They laughed over long dinners and argued gently about small things that now seem inconsequential. When life started to rush forward too fast, they created pockets of stillness where they could just be themselves. That private sanctuary became the heartbeat of their marriage. But even sanctuaries can't always withstand the outside world. He detailed the months when the distance grew, not out of neglect, but from the momentum of two careers reaching full speed. Different sets, different cities, different hours, he explained. You think you can bend time, but after a while, it bends you. They held on respectfully, and when they realized they were holding on more to the idea than the life itself, they let go with dignity. He emphasized again that there was no dramatic ending, no punishing silence, only a careful farewell. His confession made a lasting impression. It wasn't that people were unprepared for a twist. It's that they weren't expecting one delivered with such softness. The takeaway echoed across feeds and headlines. Love can change shape without losing its importance. Some things aren't meant to be erased, Cenk murmured. They're meant to be carried the right way. In that sentiment, many found a reflection of their own private stories. As the day wore on, commentators debated whether this would inspire more honesty from public figures about their private lives. Others urged caution, reminding everyone that what seems like a moment in the news is a lifetime for the people living it. Through it all, Cenk stayed consistent. He wasn't asking for a reaction, he was closing a circle. The anticipation for Mahasine's perspective grew. Close friends suggested she would respond in her own measured time, and that when she did, it would honor the same respect Cenk had shown. Until then, silence wasn't a void, it was a choice. That's where we leave it for now. A confession, a memory treated with care, a chapter closed without bitterness. Thank you for watching Secrets Behind the Stars. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it. See you next time.